Lord, there she go. Lord, Tamar, what kind of phone you got, good?
My phone is excellent. I was waiting for you to open up the room.
I've been open the room up, girl.
Well, I've been sitting here
Well, ladies and gentlemen, the lady, the queen, the international house of television has joined us, Miss Tamar Braxton. Tamar, if you could do me a favor and share, like go down there to the bottom of the bottom here and share this on your page so that the people can come on in, like you know how you share it right here. You share it and like make a post and tell them to come on in and listen to it. You could do it while we live right now because like you just click the share button and then you'll see where it says share room link or it says write a post. So you can write a post and tell them to come on in because you about to go in. You know. Tell them to do it like it's my B-Day, baby.
Period.
Oh, period. All right, let me know when you done share. Oh, you done shared it. Ooh, the girls are in here.
What's popping, everybody?
Oh, they in here. They want to be messy. All right. So tonight's episode is called Ratchet TV Behavior and the Decline of Our Community. Ladies and gentlemen, we are joined tonight by our esteemed colleague, our good friend, Miss Tamar Braxton. And honey, I'm just going to jump right on in and I'm going to define what is the definition of ratchet. The Urban Dictionary definition of ratchet is to act in a dysfunctional or out-of-pocket manner, unruly, someone whose actions could be considered as severely undistinguishable, possessing little or no class. What does ratchet mean to you, Tamar?
I have to stand by the Urban Dictionary. But, you know, I also have to add the word irresponsible behavior. Yes. Okay. Irresponsible behavior because, you know, when you're responsible, you are aware and you are tactful about how you act in front of others because the world is watching. So, you know, we have to throw in that word irresponsible behavior.
So you want to say irresponsible behavior and ratchet. So do they go hand in hand or are they separate entities?
I think it goes hand in hand because, you know, I think that, you know, what we're talking about, some of these networks definitely make irresponsible television. You know? Well, am I wrong about that? Do you think that it's responsible to show each other throwing? I'm just going to say the black television shows because you never see that on, you know, any of like the Housewives of Beverly Hills. You don't see that on Housewives of New York. You only see, you know, in Housewives of Atlanta or Potomac or Love and Hip Hop. Those kind of shows that has, you know, majority of black cast throw glasses and drinks in each other's faces as if this is something that we watch on a daily basis at an urban restaurant. I know I personally have never seen that. I've never witnessed somebody throw a drink.
I've seen some of the house.
No, I'm talking about in real life.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, here's the thing. Let's do this. Have you ever called someone ratchet, Tamar?
I call myself ratchet. You know what I'm saying? I'll say that's ratchet behavior. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I think we all have acted ratchet. I don't think ratchet is something that we are all constantly. Does that make sense?
So you think that there are pieces of ratchet? There are like tiny pieces of ratchet in all of us.
Oh, absolutely. You know, when we go to Walmart with our hair bonnet and flip-flops and pajama bottoms, that's ratchet behavior. You know better.
You think that's ratchet behavior?
Yes, I absolutely
think that.
I do too. I think it costs nothing to take off your bonnet and put on a pair of sweatpants and some tennis shoes.
Now, girl, you don't have to be presentable all the time. It's Walmart, girl. Everything happens at Walmart, girl. Fighting.
Yeah, no.
Walmart was built ratchetly.
You know what?
So do you think that it's a good word for our community, ratchet?
I think that, okay, so it's irresponsible. You know how when people, you know how we use words on each other and we accept it because it's from our community to, the same community. When other people say it, other people do it, we want to give them a slap on the wrist. And how
Hmm.
responsible is that? It's irresponsible behavior.
You right, you right.
you
Now
know
the term has been around since the 90s at least. Do you think that the behavior or the term do you think that the behavior came first or the term came first?
um do I think the behavior, I think the behavior has always kind of been around, you know what I'm saying? you know with
So the
with
behavior came
Yeah, I
first.
think the
Yeah.
behavior came first because we'd go to a family barbecue, and then somebody, auntie or uncle, had to get to fighting. That's ratchet.
That's ratchet. That's ratchet. So
That's
we've
ratchet
all had that.
behavior. Yeah, we've
Okay.
all experienced that.
Um
So
now let me ask you this. Are we policing women's behavior with this word?
are we policing women's behavior? um I don't really understand that question. What's that mean?
Okay, because the word ratchet is kind of like really a something that is used like mainly towards women. Definitely mainly
Is
towards
it?
women.
Okay.
Girl,
Okay. Okay.
you know that, girl. Like we. Well, I mean, men are ratchet too, but it's mainly like directed towards women. When we think about ratchet, we think about ratchet black women.
I feel like you really did
Which brings me
lean
to
into the phone to say
which
that.
brings me to the question: do you think no? But I'm just saying. Which really brings me to the question: do you think that it's sexist?
No, I don't think it's sexist because I've definitely heard men say, "Oh, that ratchet girl." You know what I'm saying? She ratchet. I've
Yeah,
heard that before.
but yes, because it's connected to women. Like you really like we call dudes raggedy. Like that dude is raggedy, but we don't say dude. We say another word, but like that dude raggedy. But we call girls ratchet. Like, oh, she ratchet. Oh, Miss Thing is ratchet. Oh, that's ratchet. Oh, she this. Oh, that. We call that. We use that.
Yeah, we do. That's true. Or
Okay.
Banji. Is that
Benji,
the
yeah,
same?
Benji, do Benji. All right.
Yeah. Well, let me ask
All
you a
right.
question, Maddie. So, do you do you think that ratchet is offensive? You think that word, does that word offend you?
It all depends on who using it.
Okay. So, in what context would it offend you?
Um, like when it's used to like really describe black women and like the way that like there are things that black women do that's a part of the culture. It's part of our culture that we might get a little sassy and we might snap our finger or we might give a little too and we sometimes it could be deemed ratchet like if it's a lie.
But is that ratchet though? Because we snap our fingers and roll our necks. Is that
But this is
ratchet?
what I'm saying, it all depends on who's calling us ratchet.
Yeah. Well,
So
that's not really, I don't think that that would be ratchet behavior, right? I think what's ratchet is like you are loud in the store, cussing
mm-hmm,
somebody out on your
mm-hmm.
phone, and you're distracting and disturbing other people's experience. Or you mad at the nail person and you don't cuss them out, and you going off in the middle of the nail salon when it could be handled a different way. And I keep going back to the word irresponsible behavior.
Okay.
And that's just what it is.
Yeah. I feel like
It's
that,
responsible.
we came in a little easy. Now we about to shake the mother freaking table. Tamar Braxton, I am so sick of every single television show that's coming out on any network that has a ensemble cast of black women and or Black people. I'm sick of it. The show, or the nature of the show, or the creation, or the premise of the show is, for it to just be completely negative. Now, I'm not going to call any networks out by their name, because I'm not shading anybody, but I do feel like that all of the networks are intertwined into that. And I feel like the last couple of shows that have been through streaming services that I've been watching have been slightly deplorable to me. It's deplorable, especially the way that they have been just portraying, Black women, especially the way that they have been, the storylines, and the way. I noticed that you're not involved in reality TV anymore. Is there a specific reason why that you're really not involved in it? Is it because of this new way, a new age of reality television? Because I watched the family. Okay, let me just be all the way 100. I watched the
Please.
Braxton Family Values, and I watched the Braxton Family Values, and when season 1, season 2, season 3, I fell in love with the show because it was everything was, it was family. It was family. It was love. It was sisters. It was mom. I remember me and my mama sat on the sofa, the season when you were confronting your, I don't know if she's your stepmom now or your dad's girlfriend or wife or
My
whatever,
dad's
and
wife.
your dad's wife, and they were ironing out a few things. You guys were ironing out a lot of things, and my mother sat on the sofa, and we watched it, and it was so close to home with us because my mother's father married another woman, and then that I've known her as my grandmother, and I've known my grandmother too. But so it's just like a lot of things that you guys were going on TV. I felt it in the family aspect of the situation, but as the years pass, you and your sisters are not really in communicating as much with each other as you guys are used to. And me watching the television show, I'm like, well, was this a gift or was this a curse?
Well, it's a lot of variables, especially when we're talking about Braxton Family Values. And I just feel like I have every right to speak about it because it's not something that I was just a part of. It's something that I created. So, not trying to be disrespectful towards people and their craft. I feel like the responsibility would be mine if anyone was to speak about it, would be me. So when I created the show, I created it because, we are, yes, a Black family, full of women. And, I just looked at my siblings as something that, or someone that everyone could identify with, or someone that somebody already knows, whether it's themselves, their own sister, their auntie, their cousin, somebody that's constantly in their life. And, before, it was about relatable instances, situations, because the show wasn't scripted at first. It wasn't producers pulling people, castmates to the side, speak about this, do this, that, and other. Everything was organic, like it's a word, organic. It was
Right.
organic.
Right.
So and that was, and like you said, that was most of the reason of the success. Now, when you have shows like Atlanta Housewives, Love and Hip Hop, which when you don't take into consideration the network that we were at the time wasn't, and still isn't, and will never be as big as those networks. They wanted to stay in competition with those big shows. Not really. It's almost like, okay, you ever had a situation and you don't you have a good situation, but you see your neighbor's situation. Your neighbor's situation look like it's all shiny and bright and amazing, but you still have something amazing at your own house too. But you too busy looking at your neighbor's situation. You want what your neighbor got. You want to be on the same realm as your neighbor, and you are neglecting what you have at home. So what you do is mess up what you have at home because you're too busy looking at your neighbor's house. You know what I'm talking about?
I do. I
You
do.
got that?
I
Okay.
know exactly
So
what you're
that's
saying.
what
I
I'm
do.
talking about. Yeah. So that is really what happened at that situation. Had they left the situation alone, had they not treated it like it was an ensemble instead of a family, because you got to be careful when you're with your girlfriends or when you're with your friends or co-workers, your relationship is different than when you are with your family. At the end of the day, you and your family can argue and fuss and fight, but there is a resolve. You are still family at the end of the day. There were certain people who was behind the scenes who didn't want to see that, who wanted to see us always arguing, always bickering, always not getting along, as if we were an ensemble cast to keep things and seasons and pockets flowing. You see what I'm saying?
I do. I
Yeah.
do.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm not going
Um,
to put all the response, but what I do want to say is very poignant. Okay. Um, but I can't say all the responsibility was there at that network. You also have to put the responsibility on the castmates as well for playing along. And so this is what I wanted to say in terms of, not putting all the responsibility, you know, at the networks. If you don't play along, then they can't necessarily, show what you don't act out. Now, I'm going to say that
right.
very loosely. I'm going to say that loosely because there are other variables that come into play, which is editing. I've had situations where a whole sentence is made up. I'm not lying. True story. A whole sentence was made up as if that's how you said it, what you said, and when you said it, and they make storylines out of things. Yes, you say, but not at that time. You get what I'm saying? And not in that
I
way.
I get it. I get it.
You see what
But
I'm
don't you
saying?
know this? Yeah, like, but what you know this kind of stuff, like when you going into the situation, because
Not when we
I'm
started
out
up.
there.
That's not true. That's not always true. You don't always know what you're signing up for because once you're in it, then you know. You know what I mean? Now, we signed on, and this is what a lot of people forget. We signed on 11 years ago. Reality TV was not where it is now then. It was wholesome. It was the Kardashians. It was fun. It was even the Atlanta Housewives back then wasn't as tumultuous as it became. You know what I'm saying? And crazy as it became back then, it seemed that reality television was just real people.
You thought that, like, when you created, well, I mean, you created the show, so you were going in as, because when I created my show going in with the same idea, like with the TS Madison experience. I looked around and I saw how every other show was, and like, and as far as me being trans and being the first Black trans woman, to executive produce and star in her own reality television series, I did not want to come in the gate, especially with these people who are like my family. Even though we're not blood, except for my mother, it was important. It was important for me not to come in the door busting no bottles, throwing things across the table, or ratchet behavior, portraying ratchet behavior, because the weight of a community was on my shoulders. You get what I'm saying? And
Mm-hmm.
and I just feel like that maybe maybe the world has been so influenced by all of the ratchet stuff that they've seen on television that maybe they wasn't really ready for that, or maybe it was because my show was a very good show, and I just don't
Mm-hmm.
think maybe they were ready to see something like that, because, or they didn't. I don't know how to say this without saying that maybe the minds of the people have been warped so that they have no interest in seeing anything positive on television.
I don't believe that that's true. I believe, especially after the pandemic and everything that we all have been going through and all the loss and all the hardships, I don't believe that we want to watch people arguing and fighting and bickering and not getting along and watching people's hardships on television. I don't believe that to be true. I just think that
Girl.
it's been a pattern. It's been a pattern as it working for so long, then that is what they always revert back to. But there are positive shows that do just as well, like 90 Day Fiance. There's no Ratchet there. It's the number one show on Sunday nights.
But Tamar, you got to also realize too that it's not the same, girl. It's not the same. It's 90 Day Fiance. 'Cause I haven't watched 90 Day Fiance, but it's 90 Day Fiance. Is it an ensemble cast of African American people?
No, no, it is not. But if we're going to go there,
Right.
let's go there and admit that our TV shows are ran differently than our counterparts. No, their expectations as to what happened in reality shows is different than what ours are. Are we going to be honest and say that? Because the proof is definitely in the pudding. Or no? You ever seen one of those Beverly Hills castmates throw a drink in each other's face? I mean, we just got Garcelle. That was, what, 2 seasons ago, and that was only because Black Lives Matter. Yeah.
You.
So what
Mm,
happened? We just got our first black housewives of New York. Well, why was that change made? I mean, I applaud. Listen, let me tell you something. I applaud when things are not going well and you have, been doing wrong for so long that you give somebody an opportunity to make it right. That's called growth, right? But,
mhm.
when you do it to, I guess, take the backlash and heat off of you, which I feel like, that one network that we were talking about before, if not, you amazing show. Why is it not back? Why
Right.
do you why do you think that is? Or
Right.
why do you think that those same people didn't try to change the format of our family show? Or how about this? Or even give it back to me, or give it back to us as a family, huh? Or have a meeting about it, or the changes that we can make, you know?
Oh.
King.
I think that it's well, maybe it's the audience, Tamar.
I don't
I
believe
think
it's
that
the
the audience.
audience. I wish I want to see some hearts down below. If you tune into a TV show for ratchetness, or do you tune into a TV show for relatability and for laughter and fun? I want to see.
Girl, we tuned into Jocelyn's Cabaret because it's Do It Like It's My B-Day, baby. I mean, no, like, okay. I, okay, I'm gonna be honest. Can I be honest here? Okay, I'm
Yes.
gonna be honest. If I don't see Jocelyn Hernandez doing what Jocelyn does, I ain't gonna watch no show with Jocelyn doing nothing else but being Jocelyn. And I love Jocelyn to the floor, but Jocelyn is ratchet. And so and she knows that she's ratchet because that's what she gives. Like she gives that. And I'm not gonna watch a show with her trying to be. Now I did see her like when she went on the reel, like, oh girl, we aren't even finna get into that with you.
Yeah, because I
But
haven't watched it in years.
I did see her when she went on the reel, and when she went on the reel, she was very had a different poise about herself, and I was like, oh, I like this. Maybe I want to see her, do a little one too. But when she came back with the cabaret 1 and 2, I mean, her stuff was going viral, and it was just like it. And I think that people were feeding into all of the they were feeding into what she gives. Tamar, you know what she gives. She gives
I don't. I've
Jocelyn.
actually never
And
watched an episode, and I'm not trying to be funny. I just haven't. I just don't have the capacity. you know, because I have my own problems, and I don't want to hear and see people yelling at. That's just not where I am in my life. Kudos to her. Happy for her success. Happy for Zeus' success. You know, I just don't want.
Oh, wait a minute.
For
You
that.
went on. Okay, there
I
you go.
don't
You
like
have
where I
one.
am in my life. Capacity for arguing and fussing and yelling at each other, and I can't. That's just me. I'm not saying that it's wrong, it's right. I'm
I
in my
know,
life.
Tamar, but this is what I'm saying. But this is what I'm saying. The people.
Millions of women who feel
The
like me.
people. Yeah, I'm
I
one
feel
of them.
like me.
But why are they not? Why are they not catering more to these types of television shows? It's because
Because we
the
don't get a
audience.
chance to be on
Everything
the
is
air.
about. Mm. You think those get? You think those get
And too
smothered
much.
out?
Yes, I
No,
absolutely
no.
positively do. I do. I absolutely positively do. And let me tell you why. And it's our fault as to show up for the Ratchet. We don't show for, you know, I can say I'm not comfortable saying that we don't show up for the non-Ratchet shows, because that's why OWN has the success that it does. You know, that's why Viacom has made drastic changes as they have. They want to do better. They are doing better. You understand what I'm saying? And so, like, I think like show even Love and Hip Hop is taking a different turn. It's not the way that it was before. You understand what I'm saying? And so we do show up. I think that at the end of the day, it's entertainment. And I think, you know, we gravitate to it so much because it's so off the wall. It's so like
Yeah,
who acts like that?
which is a form, Tamar, of Ratchet. Like, it is off the wall, which is a form of Ratchet. But personally, I don't want to. And this might sound the fool, but I don't want to see Jocelyn really in nothing else. First of all, I can barely understand what Jocelyn is saying. Barely. That's one. Two, Jocelyn. Jocelyn she's been on Love and Hip Hop. When Jocelyn left Love and Hip Hop, I did too. I'm not even gonna front. Like, when she left Love and Hip Hop, I was gone. I went right with her, and like I followed her, and I followed what it is. Maybe Ratchet is embedded in me. Maybe I want to see that, like, but there I just feel like
No,
that.
baby, you want to be entertained. You want to be entertained,
I
and you
do,
got to know the difference.
I do, but by her, I don't want to see every show like that. Like, I don't want to see every show that's not what I want to see with every show. And it's just like every show that comes out and every show that's put together tries to get on the level of that. Like, they try to get in that level space of that. Like, and I personally feel like that this is why we having this conversation tonight, because this is where everything is going wrong with programming. Like, everything is wrong with programming, because every show that's coming out now is following that pattern. But no one will be able to duplicate that Jocelyn, because Jocelyn she's a special entity into herself. Like, that is her. Everything else that they put out into the atmosphere, I see them, like, I'm like, oh my God, here go another show trying to be like this. Like, I feel like let Jocelyn have her form of television, create another space of television. Like, I really love doing my show, Tamar. I'm not even gonna sit up here and tell you no lie. Like, I loved it because I was able to teach people about things,
Yeah.
make them laugh, learn about myself, and all of that stuff. We had little slight discrepancies that we talked out and that we fixed. Yeah, we was a little heated with each other, whatever. But there in no way was I gonna bust one of my kids in the head with no bottle. No way was I gonna air any things out about
Dirty
them that I
laundry.
know personally, or dirty, or we gonna do personally. There was no way that I was going to do that, because I just personally feel like that like, we're a family, and I'm not finna tear my family down because hoes want to see us windmilling in the streets. I'm not doing that. And I meant that I was not doing. I'm never ever doing that on any television program that I'm going on. I'm never finna give, very much so, like, because I'm not Jocelyn. I'm not her.
Yeah, that's
And,
you.
and that's not
But I
my
bet your
form of
bottom
entertainment.
dollar, I bet
Hmm.
I bet your bottom dollar that somebody from that network has told the producer to talk to somebody else. You won't do it, somebody else will do it. You see what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
of
And
course.
that's how we get caught up. That's how our wholesome reality shows turned into ratchet reality shows, because there's always somebody who is willing and wanting to be talked about, as you just talked about Jocelyn. And but for me, I have absolutely no interest in it. You know what I'm saying? For you, you have absolutely no interest in playing that part, but somebody does, and somebody will, because they want to be famous. But the question is this: at what cost are you willing to be famous?
Do you think has really made our community like decline, like the way? Because it's sad, and
Yeah,
okay,
because
I
what we
just
see on TV is what we try to implement.
yeah,
What we see on TV is what we want to be. So if I'm
I
on
just
TV cussing people out, acting like a fool, throwing drinks in each other's face, why would I expect, or why would I expect for the viewer who is watching me not to act that way too? What's stopping them? Because
I
all I
don't
got
know.
from acting that way is notoriety. Maybe the person who's watching me who wants notoriety will do it too. Everybody wants to be famous, whether it's Instagram, Bigo, Facebook. Everybody wants to be famous. You understand what I'm
Got it.
saying? So
Mm-hmm.
but I think that what if we go back to your question, has it been a decline for our community? Absolutely yes. Because what are we doing?
Girl,
We're being irresponsible by showing irresponsible behavior. Everybody get that? We are irresponsible by showing irresponsible behavior. We are glorifying irresponsible behavior. But here's the thing:
okay.
you can't
Somebody on
have it both
wait,
ways.
Tamar. Somebody on Twitter said 90 Day Fiance Fiance is a white show. People do not want to watch positive shows, and also 90 Day Fiance is not a positive show. People want to watch fighting and
It
arguing
is.
on TV. Those shows get more views. Yes, Brad, this is what we're talking about. Brad Rockstar on Twitter said this. Yes, this is what we're talking about, and in the space of what we're talking about is like, have we been all a part of creating that programming? Like, have we fed into that type of programming, like that, like we won't show up if it's a good show? I only watch, and I'm not gonna lie, I only watch, positive scripted shows because I
Yeah.
know it's fake. I know it's
Okay.
fake. I know it's a storyline. I know it's a written storyline. These are characters acting out. I just, so I know what it's giving. I know what I signed up for in that. You know, Personally, yeah, we like a little argument on reality TV, whatever. But I'm not gonna tell you no lie, Tim. I really, really enjoyed doing the TS Master experience. Like, I love doing my show. I love what it
Yeah.
did. The response was a great response from it. People loved it and stuff like that or whatever. I love what I learned. I love what I taught. I love being a part of shaping culture, in a different way with a different perspective about Black trans people. Now, I know you got a good relationship with Zeus.
I
So
do.
I'm not going to read Zeus, but these are my opinions on Zeus. These are my opinions. These are not yours. These are mine. I feel like when I see everybody, commending the owner of Zeus, and saying, like, they're on their way to be $1 billion company, and they're Black owned and they Black this and the other. And then I say, well, what responsibility do they have now? Because everybody wants to be Black owned and Black operated, and it goes right back to what I said in other rooms about other things with Black people, not the way they treat LBGT people and stuff like this. Like I say, if you don't want rights for everybody, you want privilege. And so I be thinking that like in situations like this, you want to move, quote unquote, the man out of the way, and you want to sit in his seat, and you don't want to make change. You want to do exactly what he has done. And I hear lots of times how black people and black artists and black creators and black producers say, oh, well, the network created the Ratchet TV, or they don't want to portray us in a good light. They don't want. Now when you get into a space where you have the power to create, or you have the tools and the means to reshape the narrative of black people, you put out the same, you do the same thing. It just was a transfer of power. It really was not a real desire to change anything. It just was you just wanted the power to transfer to you, so that you know could shape so that you could be at the helms of running our culture into the ground. So then people say, well, I would rather us run our stuff into the ground than them. But why?
Okay, so let me just disagree for a
Now these
second,
were my
because
opinions. These were my opinions.
I
They,
know,
they,
and I
they were not
respect it.
yours.
I
They were
respect it,
okay.
but and I'm not defending him because we're doing business together. I'm defending him because these are the facts. Okay, when Zeus
Okay.
came out, when Zeus came out, it was at least 4 or 5 positive shows. It was um, the B Simone show that was positive, was hilarious. It
Mm-hmm.
was Quay show that was positive and hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
Michael Blackston, right? His show was positive and hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
Now, not until Jocelyn, Black China, um, Chance. Well, Chance and Love is the same show that it was on Viacom, right? That's funny, positive, right?
Right.
And
Mm-hmm.
also
Mm-hmm.
the baddies. Is it Mel's fault that the Ratchet shows are the shows that blew up? Because it's not like he didn't give it a chance. It's not like he wasn't, like having a variety. Is it his fault that
No,
everybody wanted
no,
to tune into
I don't
Jocelyn?
think that. No, I don't think that it's his fault. But like I was saying, that I think that we have been programmed so hard to go after the ratch, to go after the raunch, the ratch, the irresponsible, the things like I just feel like that this is what we've been programmed to do. And this is why that the shows that have positive, you know, a direction and positive creation do mediocre, and those things that have. But is there a way that we can accept mediocre and like really start creating more mediocre until we force the mediocre to become the thing? Could
Well,
we do that?
yes, we could, Maddie. And that's why I decided to stop being a part of the problem and be on the other side to try to change that as a creator and a television producer. You know, I said I wouldn't be. Now I want to clear up a misconception. I didn't say I wasn't going to do a reality show. I said I was not going to participate in that kind of reality television. I've been very, very specific about that. How could I say that I'm not going to be a part of reality television and I'm a reality star? That sounds crazy. you know,
Right.
I just don't want to participate in the ratchet behavior, the ratchet addiction television. I don't want to be a part of that. I want to be a part of the change for television, of the change of having an amazing TV show where you're laughing, you're still being relatable, and people are sucked in by those emotions. You know what I'm saying? Of
Mm-hmm.
positivity um and problem solving at the end of the day. I think that the responsibility is of people like Lamel, and I think that he's taken the steps as to why we are, in partnership together. Because I'm not bringing, you know, crazy ratchet TV. I'm bringing entertainment, yes, but not on any of my shows that I create, produce, and be a part of. Is it going to be fighting, throwing drinks in people's faces, and acting irresponsible. You know, I think the proof has been in the pudding. Our highest rated seasons was of the Braxton, season 1 through season 3. There was no, you know, ratchet behavior there. There was no ratchet behavior on the real. The highest rated of the shows was season 1 through season 2 when I
Ooh.
was a part of it. I mean,
Ooh.
these are facts. That's not shade. I'm
I
talking about
know it's
facts.
not. I know it's
Okay.
fact.
The
But
highest
Tamar,
rated
hold
other
on.
show that was
But
on
Tamar,
that
no,
other
let's do
network
this.
was Tamar and Vince. We wasn't ratchet. We was relatable, not ratchet. I do
But
believe that there is a space.
I
Yes.
do too. But let's say this. But let's just do. You are when you and I have our private conversations a lot. We share each other's the way we feel about things with each other. I remember you and I talking one night, and you were expressing to me how incessantly expressing to me how you was like Maddie, I'm not going to be a part of that foolishness. I'm not going to be a part of that ratchet stuff no more. I'm not going to be, and you know. And I said, Tamar, you have no, you are like you are reality television like gold, like it's just something about the way that when the camera comes on with you in television, girl, that it's just like, girl, either from your expressions, from the way you throw your hair, to the way you interact, just the way just you being yourself, like that's just you being your natural self, you know, that is just television gold. But so of course when you go to a place, the ratings are going to be high. Like when you walk into a space, you know, they're going to be, because but lots of things follow you when you go when you come into a room. Interesting things follow you, Tamar, when you
I
come
know.
into.
I know. It's crazy to me. And you know who I am, you know, in real life. Like I'm the most unproblematic person like you'll ever, you know, come across. Like I don't want no parts. I ain't gonna start nothing. You know what I'm saying? But you're right. It does follow me. You're absolutely correct.
Yes. And so you're not gonna have these problems like with ratings and things like that, because it's like interesting thing, even like myself, interesting things
Happen.
tend to
Yeah.
follow me all the time. I'm like, oh my God, girl, I don't want to have nothing to do with this foolishness. But it just comes.
True.
Now, do you choose to capitalize off of those interesting things that happens, or does the network choose to capitalize off the interesting things that happens? You know,
You know,
like I was saying.
I told this network something about that. You know, I said, you know, you're not going to be able to help yourself. And they got upset, which I don't care, but that is the truth. They can't help themselves. Why? Because it's been successful for so long. And who turns down a fat check? You ever heard of anybody turning down a fat check before?
No,
I
you
know
do
I.
not. No,
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard for me to turn down a major bag. You know what I'm saying?
right.
But you have to make the decision as to. And I'm singing the praises of Viacom because they definitely has made uh, a distinctive change. Not all money is good money.
Here we go. Thaddeus on Twitter said, "We as a community entertained
Yeah.
the quote unquote ratchet TV
Yeah.
from the beginning, Flavor Flav to BGC. It's sadly a reflection of what we think we want. We as the black community should want more. It's not all about fighting and beefs and shade."
Agree. But it's nothing wrong with a little shade. It's nothing wrong with a little beef because guess what? That's real life. You know
It
what I'm
is.
saying? It's real life. And, you know, I think that, you know, and I'm just going to openly speak on all of these networks because, you know, I do feel like they have a lot of respect for me and a lot of respect for my opinion. And I'm going to
Mm-hmm.
come out and say that you have to give us more chances. You can't say, "Oh, it's a failure," because you put out three reality ratchet shows and you put out one positive one and the one positive one don't work. If you're gonna put out three ratchet shows, put out three positive ones.
Right.
You got to do a fair toss up. You
Right.
understand what I'm saying? And then say, "Oh, that's not what they want to see. They only tuning into the ratchetity." No, give us more opportunities to make good television again. That's
But
just
this
the
is what I'm
bottom line.
saying. Here's one thing that I've learned, right? And Tamar, I know because I just really got over into this producing world producing my show. I got 2 more things coming under my belt that I cannot wait for the announcement to come. I've been like really quiet about it, but I'm going to be really excited when the news does come forth. But the next thing that I'm involved in, it's like it's good, but when you really look at it, right? Okay, and you say put three good things out and then 3 ratchet things out or whatever. And just like Thaddeus said, we think that this is something that we want. We really think that this is what we want, and it might really not be. It's really what brings the rating. I've come to find out that advertising dollars spend more during positive shows. I found this out. That advertising dollars spend more during the positive show. The positive shows may not get the million ratings, the million view ratings as everything, but the revenue is different because people are actually watching those shows or learning from the shows, and they're buying things in those shows. People want to get through the commercials on them Ratchet shows because they want to get down to the fight.
Yeah.
They don't want to see nothing. Like, I don't give a damn about no commercial. Girl, bring me the black eye. Let me see the black eye. Let me see the bottle explode on her head. Let me see the drama. Let me see this. I'm not thinking about no commercial. So, and a lot of times I found out, like being in the business, being on the other side of the business now, I'm finding out that that the revenue dollars, and I found this out, and to be honest with you, I found this out by YouTube. Some of my highest watched videos, the advertising shares on it, the advertising money that came in from it was low, but some of my lowest viewed videos, I've made more money off of that video on YouTube than I have from the Ratchet video. More money because one, some advertisers be like, oh, I don't want to do all that cussing. Oh, I ain't trying to go through all of that.
Yeah, they don't want to be a part of it.
They don't, they start cutting. They just, you'll get a lot of views on it, but you won't make no damn money.
Nope.
And so I learned this, and this thing, it's the same process when it comes down to the TV, to the television things. Like when people are buying, yes, you might have 1 million people watching. It's the same way it is like with a fight on. And I always make this analogy. It's the same way with a viral fight video on World Star. Girl, World Star, you can have 1 million people, 1 million views on a fight video, and nobody don't know who those people are in that video fighting. But you can have 100,000 views on somebody having a conversation about blah 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 that's more impactful than that fight video. Because they might have showed up with the views for the fight, but they're only there for the fight and they're there for nothing else. And so I've learned this in the way that I'm not, sometimes the old saying is true. You do want quality over quantity. You got some people weighing in the conversation on Twitter. There is Jerome Coleman. Jerome says, Ratchet shows are easy to produce. The cast doesn't have to be interesting or even likable to the audience. Ratchet TV doesn't even need to be translated to other languages. This is why networks bring us so much of this content, and eventually we expect to see this all the time. So who's the devil here?
It's both.
Who's the devil here, Tamar?
It's irresponsible television watched by irresponsible viewers. And and I said right when I left the Braxtons, the truth is that we have to stop. If we want it to stop, we have to stop entertaining it. The responsibility is ours. But most people are not ready for the real conversations. That's a real conversation. Baby, if you want to see positivity, stop tuning into the wretchedity. Stop tuning into the fighting. Stop. I mean, but it's been programmed to us, not just with reality TV. It really did start with the soap operas. We grew up watching soap operas because it was juicy. Remember our aunts and our uncles and my mom and our mamas and grandmama and them turned
Yes,
on the soap
ma'am.
opera.
Cause I
They
sure love
be
it. Girl, the young and the restless still on, girl. And
yes,
they still falling off the cliff, girl, getting pushed off the cliff, getting facelifts. They still sleeping with husbands. It's still there. Girl, in Dynasty. I used to tune into Dynasty because I knew Alexis Colby and Crystal Carrington was gonna be fighting each other. Dominique Devereaux. I knew that they were gonna fight. So I mean it's been programmed, Tamar.
hmm yeah, yes.
How do we unplug it though? It's too far gone. It's
I
too
wish I
far
had the
gone.
answers. I really wish I had the answers because you can't. I don't want to say take all Ratchet TV off the air. That that's silly because television is for entertainment. You know what I'm saying? Like that's silly to say, but I think to be responsible is to have a mixture. So then people don't think it is how we really truly live and how we really truly feel about each other as a community, as girlfriends, as partners. You know what I'm saying? How we are at work, our work ethic. We have to have a mixture of good and bad in order for people to decipher what is real versus what is the fake. And then that way, our community won't continue to suffer as it has because of the examples that we are irresponsibly putting on television. Period.
Cameron Dangerfield says, I totally understand it. It's been so many times when I've had the opportunity to do TV and they only wanted the quote unquote
Foolishness.
bitch, yes, girl, yes, two snaps and a finger, but never speaking about being an HBCU grad, a chef, or an entrepreneur. Uh, Sir Lexington said, Maddie, I love your show. It was very transparent.
Mm-hmm.
Jay says, just Jeremy says, Ratchet TV is cheap to produce as well. Throw anybody a few hundred and they'll knock a bitch out into the middle of the park. Then
Yes.
everybody wants to watch it.
Yes, because they want to be famous. Everybody want to have a 15 minutes. But you got to know it comes at a cost. Because you can't expect to act like that on TV and still be respected amongst your peers and still go get that job that you always wanted to get because you don't acted a fool on TV. No, you can't have it both ways. You're either gonna act a fool and be a fool, or be a part of the change and have people respect you and respect your craft at the end of the day.
So what is next for you, Tamar, in this field? Like, because are we going to see you, uh, because it's kind of like the question for me too. Are
Yeah.
we going to see you more in front of the camera and behind, or what's next? What do you got going?
Well, I have a lot of things that's going on that I can't really speak about.
Mm-hmm.
But I did do the simple life, and I know it not the simple life, the surreal life. I know that it confused people as to why I was doing it. Well, the show was pitched to me as a show about, conquering your fears and living in a house with a bunch of other reality, not reality, or other superstars or television stars or athlete stars who have, the same kind of fears, that you do, and what would happen if you put them all in the house and had these different adventures, together? How do you learn from each other? How do you coexist? How do you, get along if you do or if you don't? And I just thought that it was exciting TV because it is entertaining, yes, and it's also something that I can, pride myself on being a better person about. I want to conquer my fears. And I want to show the world that it's okay to be afraid of certain things, and it's okay to, get over them. And so for me, my responsibility for Tamar Braxton Productions and to myself is to produce and be a part of the change. You know, it's going to be a lot of things that I'm going to be bringing forth that is going to be incorporating regular people because I do understand that regular people just means
relatability. And that's where all of
Yeah.
my success from television has come across. So I'm excited about that, giving people a chance to be a part of the change and some good fun.
Oh, okay. All
Yeah,
right. I love the way that Thaddeus came back and said, nothing is too far gone. We
yeah.
have to start taking responsibility. We will get tired always seeing us fighting on TV. We have to stand up for one another and stand up for what's right. We have to take back that respect we once had.
Yes, because
And
don't
I
y'all want to
do.
see the Housewives of Beverly Hills fight? Don't y'all want to see them throw stuff, throw drinks in their face for a change? Each other face for a change? Don't y'all want to see that? Or
Tamar,
y'all
you
want to
ain't
see
never
that?
seen. Ain't that's the one with Paris Hilton them auntie on it?
The mama and auntie don't. No, baby, they don't throw no glasses at each other. They don't get up and fight. They don't do that. They'll argue, beat while they're beat to capacity, you know. But ain't nobody, putting no shame on their family name. Ain't nobody, doing something on TV that they can't come back from. That would never see the light of day, baby.
Now,
Okay.
now, girl, listen. I did see you hosting the reunion of
Hmm.
Baddies ATL, and
Yeah.
you were trying to get a conversation out when you were saying, which was cut off by all of the. "Ah!" You were saying
Child.
you came here as a black woman. Would you
Yeah.
like to say that here? Like you came there as a black woman to do what?
I came, well, I hosted the Baddies reunion because, I wanted to bring a different perspective, because it was so much arguing, it was so much fighting, it was so much of the same thing. Like we're talking about Ratchet television and the decline that it has on our community. I wanted to be a part of the other conversation, not about the fighting. I wanted to be a part of resolving issues by using our words, using our education, and giving each other an opportunity to turn things around, so you're not embarrassed when you go pick up your kids in the school line at elementary school, so you're not embarrassed in front of your counterparts, so you're not embarrassed in front of your boyfriend's mom and family them, you know. Like at some point you have to be able to draw the line from reality TV and what you do for a living and what is real and who you want to be in your life. So that's why I really wanted to be a part of that, because I just wanted to show the different side of us, the entrepreneurial side of us, because those girls are really making a lot of money and making a lot of strides as executive producers and business owners. And I think that watching the Baddies, we really did ourselves a disservice by them not showcasing that. And so I wanted to be a part of the change, like I said. So there you have it.
Yeah, yeah. Well, Tamar, we've come to the end of the show, and
All right.
we've covered majority of. Yes, already, girl. We done talked for a whole hour. We done come to the end of the show, girl. We done talked about it. We done laid a little. We didn't shake the table too hard because we not here to tear anybody down or any other things. We just voiced our opinions about it and how we feel and what we are going to do as as reality stars and producers, because we're both. You're a reality star and a producer. I'm a reality star and a producer, and like
Period.
moving forward, like what we're going to do as far as working on the change. Now, I mean, I do feel like that it's going to be difficult, really
Yeah.
trying to keep positive imagery up. But there you have to go into specific spaces that are really looking for that. Like there are certain networks that are geared for that. They're geared for that. Like this is what their audience comes to eat. And then there are other places that are not geared to that are like this. We want to learn, we want to teach, we want to do this, we want to do that, or whatever. And I just feel like that we need to target those places that respect what we're trying to do. And eventually, maybe our people will get tired, Tamar, of all the foolishness, like Thaddeus said. Maybe they will get tired of it, and maybe they will crave, and it might be a thirst and a hunger, for something else.
Yeah.
Maybe. We just got to keep pushing and keep trying to put those things out.
Well,
Tamar, I want
sis,
to
I
tell
just want
you,
to say, huh?
we was just about to say it at the same time. Go ahead and say it.
I was going to say, if you're not part of the progression, you're part of the problem. So if you have a problem with it and you watching it, don't say nothing.
Yeah, I
You
mean, listen,
are
I
part of the
mean,
problem.
no shade, Tamar.
None.
I don't really, I don't, I told you, I watched scripted TV, and I watched my TV show because that's what I wanted. That's what I wanted to see in the world, and I watched scripted television. That reality stuff I don't like. I said it before when Jocelyn left the house. What is it called? The Love and Hip Hop. When she left the Love and Hip Hop, I stopped watching the entire franchise completely. I don't know who's the cast member. I might see stuff pop up there. I don't know who those people are or whatever. I just feel like, oh, okay. When I've been stopped watching Housewives before Nene left because I was just like, girl, y'all are going to y'all 50s and y'all still not getting along. I can't do this. And I was really waiting on them to bring you on the Housewives of Atlanta. I would have loved to see you come on the Housewives of Atlanta.
I'll come on the
That would have been.
Housewives if Nene come back. How about that?
Would you?
So we know the probability of that. So there you have it.
Yeah, but so for me, and in closing, I'm as a creator, I'm going to create what I want to see and what I feel like that my people are geared toward and they want to see, and I'm going to pitch it to places that want to do it. I love WeTV, and I thank WeTV for giving me opportunity to produce my first television show.
Oh, that's good for you, baby.
Oh Lord.
Well, I want to be
I'm
a
not
part of
picking
people
it.
want to be a part of the change, and not be a part of the problem consistently. You have to grow. If you're not growing, I don't want no parts of you, Amen.
I'm not digging in it. I ain't picking at that wound. I ain't doing that.
Me, I'm just saying what I said.
What I want to tell you, Tamar, is this. I started my rooms with you. My first room was us and mental health, and this is my 6th room. And I want to say thank you so much for being my good Judy, my good sister, and checking on me when me and Mama was over here down with the COVID. And I love you very much, and I done loved you for a long, long time, honey. Like Tulak who say, "We love you a long time." I love you for a long time, girl. And I'm wishing the best for whatever you got going on, girl, and whatever you got going on. Slide me to be a part of it too, girl. Slide me over there.
Of course,
And,
I love you too, and I love Miss Mary too. And
yes,
I love the
I know,
positivity
baby.
putting out. I do, I really do. And anything you're a part of that you want me a part of, I can't wait to be a part of.
Yes, God. Yes, I'm gonna bring you on the situation. But I want to thank you for doing this with me, doing this live audio room. This has been a great thing, and we've talked about some great stuff in here. And ladies and gentlemen, if you're listening to this and you didn't hear it, you came in the middle, on the side, or whatever, you will be able to listen to this in the playback because I'm going to pin this to the top of my page. You can tweet about it. You can talk about it, whatever. Tell your friends. And listen, if you have any issues and discrepancies or anything on your heart or on your mind that you want to talk about, honey, open up your audio room. It's open. Your audio rooms are open for everybody. Open up your audio room, honey. Bring your people in there and y'all just chat and talk about it because this is the thing that you do here for my folks on Facebook. Tamar Braxton, I love you like a fat chick loves pork and beans, okay?
Love you too.
I'm about to go over here and get me some pork and beans in a few minutes. You hear me? And I want to see you soon. And, I'll call you when all of this stuff is over and done. And thank you for being my guest host tonight. This was great and wonderful. I love you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I love you all too. Thank y'all for tuning in.
That's right. All right, guys. We'll see you soon. Thank y'all very much for listening and joining the live audio rooms with T.S. Madison, honey. This has been Ratchet TV Behavior and the Decline of Our Community. Listen to it again. Tell